Welcome everybody to a special edition of bullishmoney.com. And here with us today is Mark. He is a public administrator, and one of the topics we want to hit up is this is the sudden death of Justice Scalia. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So Mark, Justice Scalia, he died exactly 1 week ago today, and this has seriously rocked the political spectrum, the political world. Right now, we can say that, hearing the news, there's just so much vitriolic back and forth going on. There's a lot of questions about who President Obama will nominate, and even within the death of Justice Scalia, there's a lot of inconsistencies. I wanted to grab your general thoughts on this topic.
Okay, well, my general thoughts are that it's very suspicious. Shortly after having dinner, just suddenly, mysteriously, he felt ill, went to bed, and never woke up. To me, that sounds like poisoning, but I've also heard someone say, and they have a credible reference for it, was that he was found with a pillow or a cushion over his face, indicating that he was smothered. So
yeah, that came from the New York Post. I don't know if other mainstream publications reported that. Now, to be clear, the New York Post stated that the pillow was found over or on top of his head. But either way, I found the description of the pillow to be strange. Because okay, it may not be over his face. I mean, the New York Post did not say it was over his face; it was over his head. But the mentioning of a pillow is kind of weird, because if someone died in their sleep, they're obviously dying on their bed, and obviously, most people have a pillow on their bed. So the articulation of the pillow seemed a little bit strange. Would you say?
Yeah, it does. Strange.
Yeah, and what else I found strange was, and I did a YouTube video on this. I reported on the many inconsistencies, the many inconsistent reports. Some said that he died in a private residence. Some said that he died in the Cibolo Creek Ranch. Some people said the Secret Service was involved, or the U.S. Marshals were involved, and others said they were not part of the investigation. It was like chaotic reporting. And I was one of the first, if not the first, to make a video reporting on those inconsistencies. But those inconsistencies, from your perspective, did you notice them as well during the time?
Yes, I did. I don't know who it was involved, but it was definitely somebody. It looked like it was somebody from the wonderful government.
Right.
So whether it was the U.S. Marshals or the FBI or the CIA or the FECK, it was one of those.
Yeah. I found it weird that the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Presidio County Law Enforcement Agency, and who knows what else other agencies, they were all immediately at the scene and making pronunciations that he appeared to die of natural causes. And I'm sorry, you're law enforcement. You're not the you're not performing the autopsy. So how? I mean, that's just an opinion. I mean, that's the part that drove me crazy, is that you have these agencies, because they're agencies, we feel like we should give them credibility, but it's like, no, you're a law enforcement agency, or you're a protective agency. You're not performing the autopsy, and yet you're implying and saying, well, he appeared to die of natural causes. I mean, I found that to be a bit of a stretch there.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was natural causes. There's some very liberal, very just out in left field people on that panel.
Yeah.
But from my understanding, Scalia was a lot more conservative. I think he was blocking a lot of these would-be laws, homosexual laws and gun right laws, all these different things that the communists would love to shove down our throat. Since I think justices don't have to retire, I think they're in there permanently.
Yeah, lifelong appointments.
Lifelong appointments, yes. And that was the reason why they had to off him in order to get him out of there.
I proposed the idea, along with other people, that there might be a conspiracy. I didn't exactly say with definitive certainty that there is a conspiracy, because to say that would lack journalistic integrity, because I don't have that smoking gun connection or evidence that would suggest that 100% this was a conspiracy. However,
we never do.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting though, because in a court of law, you see, this is the thing. We get a lot of critics from the other side saying that you guys are kooks, you guys are nuts. The government is perfect. They're angels. They would never consider political assassinations. They're always, they're God-fearing Christians. They would never do anything like this. Okay, I find that assumption to be way out of left field from my perspective, knowing what I know about the sick, corrupt nature of global governments. Interesting to point out that people would ask or would criticize, well, what's the motive? Well, there's plenty of motive for someone powerful within the greater agenda, within even above the Obama administration, to have someone like Justice Scalia offed, because the New York Post, mind you, this is straight from the New York Post. In fact, I'm gonna read you a quick quote. It says that Scalia's loss will be felt as the Supreme Court takes up hot-button issues this session, including Obama's immigration action, abortion, affirmative action in college admissions, voting rights, and public sector unions. These aren't wishy-washy issues. These are very serious issues. What do you think about that? He would
have blocked these things. He would have been the obstacle.
Absolutely.
In Obama's way. So just to express myself clearly.
Yeah, I mean, and the New York Post would agree with you. It says that many of the cases were expected to be 5-4 decisions with Scalia in the conservative majority. So with Scalia's death, obviously it's going to be a perfect split between conservative and liberal ideologies. But Obama now has an opportunity to obviously make the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, slanted for a very long time with a liberal ideology. I think that is excruciatingly dangerous.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And go ahead.
I was going to say that it appears, the timing is, as I said in the video, it's rather fortuitous, but also it's interesting to note that the establishments, both the Democrat establishment, the Republican establishment, the aristocracy that controls these two paradigms, the black-white, left-right paradigm, the aristocracy that controls it really doesn't like Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, what do you think about it? This guy has been making some serious inroads across the entire nation, and he has been very, very exciting. He has been rejuvenating the Republican Party, yet there's a lot of the core establishment Republican Party that really doesn't like him.
I know. Yeah, he's either jealous of him, I think, or he just seems too extreme for some people.
Yeah, definitely. But here's where I'm going with this. We have Trump here, who has been making just phenomenal. He has been phenomenally successful, even with making what people would consider politically outrageous comments, and yet he's just been killing it. He's been killing it in the polls. I think the establishment was so scared on both sides of the political spectrum that they needed something. They needed something to stop this freight train, because I think they know that Trump if Hillary wins the Democratic nomination, everybody knows that Donald Trump would steamroll Hillary Clinton. And I think the establishment is scared out of their minds that would happen, and they needed a solid victory somewhere in order to stem the tide that is inevitable. And the Scalia, dying at this fortuitous juncture, I mean, that's just perfect evil genius. If there was a conspiracy, this would be perfect evil genius. Your thoughts?
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. I think they're trying to make it difficult for him. I did read an article that might have been on WND, or World Net Daily.
Yes.
That Trump will not be allowed anywhere near the White House.